everybody. I am really in a spot where I potentially have caused myself some unnecessary stress. As in some of my videos I've explained, I have Freedom. Freedom is my agent that is designed to be almost fully autonomous, self-improving, self-storing, being able to link to my Linux laptop at all times, work through things, be my business partner. If while we're chatting we have a good idea, I say, okay, let's fire it up. It will launch my new build agent and populate it. It'll create a folder and then we can start building. So it's really quite powerful, quite impressive. I've got a very natural, it's voice first. It also has, though, the layer of being able to ensure, if need be, I can just text into it. The next layer I have is I've been building my Agentic operating system, because Freedom is not the operating system per se. It's really, imagine me here pushing through from an Agentic side. And I want that specifically differentiated because I don't want a faster, semi-smart, squishy meat bag. I want full futurist level thinking and to be able to interact with me and push back against my ideas with a very structured and different way. So the operating system, picture it as a main console where you've got the ability to pull all your tools and bring everything into one space. Oftentimes VS Code, I find VS Code with Codex 5.5 is very, very close to just really what I imagine. I don't open very many websites anymore. I certainly don't go looking for files. I have a folder set up that is, say, for instance, system structure, troubleshooting, and tools. So under that one, I'll have tools, and that'll be all my installed tools. So anytime you've seen me talk about working with my recording studio or working with speeding up startups or anything like that. So the tools goes there, the system improvements goes there, and it's all well structured. I wanted to build out so that it has that knowledge in the center. It is an agentic lookup to everything. It'll have my where do I start with that? Emails, Microsoft collaboration, anything in there. It'll have text messages that are through my consulting company's structure. They're all set up and they're all tied. Some of you would use Slack or any of the other Microsoft Teams. It sits on the periphery of what this agentic operating system is. And then with my Graphify on steroids build, that is the next layer where it is, as I started going, I started peeling back through the books a little bit and tying into my neuroscience training. Basically what I'm building is the 3 layers of the brain. Freedom is going to be the prefrontal cortex. That's the thinking, that's the control, that's the guidance, that's the sober thought, the control. The agentic operating system inside from Guided AI Labs is the midbrain and even the primal brain, although it doesn't really need a whole lot of that, although it does run functions and reaches out. And then the neuronal pathways tying this whole central nervous system together is Graphify. You take Graphify, you're able to quick look up, you can connect in between. The way I built it, you can connect in between and make it a whole brain. And then the rest of the central nervous system is your tools. what you use out there. Do you use Stripe? Do you use Microsoft 365 environment? Do you use Google? Do you use any of the above? All the tools that you use day in and day out, particularly for a company, it gets all tied into there. So here's where the stressor is. I created an agent with a loop, and I've been learning loops, and I have put a lot of eggs in this basket. So the loop and this agent, the agent is called Agentic Multi-Agent Agent Builder. Very simple, very straightforward. Just kind of rolls off the tongue, really. What it does is, in planning with ChatGPT Pro, I downloaded the zip files from my GitHubs of the 4 repos that are going to be involved in this. And we walked through back and forth, built out, okay, how's this going to look? What's it going to do? And that's where it evolved to the central nervous system. One little caveat I will say is, and I'm going to see how this plays out, and I know there's people going to come at me with this one. Out of the midbrain, I took away parts of what I consider limitations on the logical portions. If you think of, I believe it was Jonathan Haidt wrote and referenced the elephant and the rider. And in the human brain and the human system, the rider controls the elephant day in and day out, and that's our prefrontal cortex. Our prefrontal cortex goes, and we're like, yeah, we got this, until the elephant lurches. And when the elephant lurches, it lurches. You have to have a certain amount of control over what your elephant responds to and what it actually, how far it steps. But when it steps, it steps. The effective rider knows how to manipulate that, move it, and properly pull back, not go into an emotionally unregulated zone for long. We all hit them. We all touch on, we can't feel ourselves coming back, and we count to 10, do whatever it takes, right? With this one, it was funny because I was using Claude Code at the time, and Claude Code wanted to make the operating system, which I'm calling the midbrain, a bit of a handbrake. And my intent was, that's your storage, that's your deep thinking, that's your memory, that's your processing. Things that can't happen real quick get passed down and can work for a long, long time now in loops, now that I'm getting there. Which, I digress, but we're going to get back to the loop story. I've engineered that part out. Now it is the rider and, I don't know, call it the horse. The horse instead of the elephant. It can move, it can plod along for hours and hours and hours, and you can ride, and it knows. It knows its role, it knows what it does, and it doesn't get particularly upset. It's very strong, very calm. It will get spooked. I did leave a certain amount of control in there. Next step, while we were doing that, and apologize for looking all over because I'm going to show you something that I think is really quite impressive. What it did was, as I was describing it, it came back and went way further. I mean, I flipped through my books for a bit and talked about how the neurons are going to work and how the neuronal pathways and Graphify mimics that. But I then asked it, after it described it all out, to draw me a picture. And I said, draw me a picture as if you were in the doctor's office and see what that looks like. I really could have gotten this all together before I started, but I think we all know this is how I do it. Where did I put that? While I'm searching, I will then describe. I feel like I put it in downloads, but it doesn't seem to be. So we're gonna go pictures, we're gonna go branding. There it is. Guided AI Labs branding. Bam. All right, I'm gonna share this because, like I said, I'm quite pleased with this again. It's phenomenal to me how much work I can get done in such a short time. I mean, I do this after my regular consulting is all over. I do this at the end of the day and on weekends, and I still have a life. I still, go on the occasional date, still hang out with the family. So the level of freedom that these systems offer when properly guided are absolutely unbelievable. Okay, here we go. Now, where did I put that? There we go. Left screen, camera right. This is me. This is, this way, this way. There we go. This is the brain. So, freedom, executive cognition, judgment, planning, prioritization, orchestration, reasoning. Guided AI Labs operating system. Deep governance, autonomic management, authority, routing, evidence, approvals, risk posture, homeostasis. And that risk posture is that little bit of a handbrake that I let it be. I did not, as I said, I don't want it to be a major blockage or to have it go down a pathway that I'm not prepared. Because if you go back to Jonathan Haidt's reference of the elephant and the rider, imagine the elephant that can work at this pace. And if it lurched, how far and how fast it would lurch, that would be crazy to me. So here's the process flow. It'll observe, it'll relate, it'll reason, it'll govern, it'll act, and it'll learn. And it is intelligent by design, governed by principles, and built for impact. This is what I'm building. They're not linked up yet. As I was building each one of them, what I tend to do is I'll have one project open per window. I find that as, essentially you become the project and the program manager, you have to be able to keep it steady and running and not have issues entirely as you go. And here's where we get to the loop thing. The loop part of all of this, to me, is where there's definitely a bit of stress because now I built into this agentic agent building agent with a loop that is designed to go to 3 or 4, probably can do more, but I only needed it for 3 or 4 at a time right now, and take that master plan that ChatGPT Pro and I built and the whole central nervous system struck out and walk it through and follow the loop. That the loop is going to automatically refresh the context window, compact the context window. And I'll show you quickly, I'll touch on this. So GitHub, Salesforce, ServiceNow, HubSpot, any of these that you use, these are all part of this now ecosystem that is being built. Quite frankly, again, like I said, I'm really quite pleased. Now here is my loop. I'm used to the environment where it's like this. I can scroll back and I can see everything that you did. That's awesome. Now I'm here and I can't scroll through this. If anybody knows how to do that, comment, let me know, reach out, message me. Holy, this is disconcerting. Because right now, I've let that loop go through. So what the loop is now programmed to do, and this agent is programmed to do, is right now it's 3. So it goes, all right, it's built the chunks, proper context-friendly chunks, and every time it finishes a chunk in each one of them, it does the /compact command. And then the loop, when it sees a natural pause anywhere above 100,000 tokens, the loop tells it, compact, come back in, and here we go. This is disconcerting. Like I've never really worked out of the terminal, and I've never just trusted something like this. Luckily, there is a safety mechanism. When everything's on GitHub, GitHub has a phenomenal set of revision control. If you want to start playing in this space, once you get in there, learn GitHub first. Get it set up, get your repos going. See, now it's saying one message, and I don't claim lock, checking whether Agents MD exists in the point. Well, I sure hope it does, because quite frankly, it's running. I can interrupt this at any time, but it looks like it's taking a pause. However, I see this showing me that it is still working. I'm going to do a follow-up video after this and see where it starts. See where it ends up. Ideally, I end up that when I bring up freedom, let me just pull it up and quickly show you. So right now, I don't have the desktop app set up. Well, here, you know what? Let's make this a little bit easier, Adam. Like I said, that's what you get. That's what you signed up for. I'm just an average guy doing this. I'm not running a studio here. I'm not gonna give you that clean, polished. You want clean, polished? Go watch Netflix. I'm here to just entertain, straight up raw dog. So it's gonna be a terrible, terrible view because of the light and everything. But right now it's reconnecting to the desktop. So what will happen, and that's simply because while I'm running all of this, I'm running so many instances, it absolutely, even with the power that I've got in here and the 4070 video card, it bogs it down. My charger cable from the docking station can't keep up. I have to plug it in because it just hammers it down. Like, I'm sure the neighborhood, when I get going, it power dips. So for now, I have 3 messages come up here, and I'm going to sign off. Just thought I would share this because it's super exciting to me. Hopefully you've learned a little bit. Hopefully it's piqued your interest, and hopefully in the comments you have some ideas for me. So like it, subscribe. I'm gonna keep building. You're gonna see amazing achievements, and you're gonna see fantastic failures. So throughout this, I do appreciate everybody who does spend the time here. I've already started to get a few people rolling in, and the faster I can get that, the faster I get collaborators. And when you go to my GitHub, if you want to pull down any of these things, I have a lot of free ones because I want people to play with it and teach me as much as they're learning. throw a star on there, throw a comment so that I know what you're doing and how you like it. Thank you very much, and I'll get back to you when I see a little more progress over here.